Take a sip from your soul on a metaphysical milkshake.
Sorry about that, man.
It happens, you know.
Were you scared?
Yeah, I was.
Come on. Bring it in.
I feel so safe here, though. I feel safe.
Win Butler, Arcade Fire.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for coming into my van.
Yeah.
As you know, it's a very special van. We can go anywhere that the human heart and mind desire.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you like to go?
Well, I haven't been to Haiti in a while.
Let's do it.
All right. My biggest influence of the last 6 years is Haitian music.
Other than Ram Haiti, I don't know much
Yeah.
Haitian music.
Yeah.
What would you recommend?
A lot of it doesn't record super well. I mean, it's just like rah-rah music is the street music in Haiti, which is kind of African drums and these horns. So there'd be like 7 different horns. Each of them has a different note. So like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you know, kind of do these complex rhythmic patterns. And there's this band called Rah-Rah Femme, which means women's rah-rah. And they're the only, to my knowledge, all female. They kind of look like hot 90s R&B people,
that's awesome.
like playing African drums, and kind of something that MIA is probably going for, but like super duper raw version of it.
Yeah. Now you guys played a live concert out in the middle of nowhere in Haiti as a benefit for Partners in Health.
Regine and I had been many times, and we always would have an acoustic guitar and end up playing for a bunch of the kids, and kind of just as a public service, just we brought up a big sound system from Port-au-Prince, and we opened for Ram actually. 5,000 people just came from the mountains, just from word of mouth, from hearing that some weirdos were
Now,
there
what did
with
the
sound
Haitians
system.
think of you playing songs from like the suburbs?
There's no context of rock music in Haiti. A lot of people in Conj have not heard the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, or it just kind of made us realize like how much context you take for granted in music. The feeling that we got playing the music there made us want to make a record that we could go play in Haiti and would destroy. Like we could like get people dancing, and because you know there's like a lot of talk about like cultural appropriation. I mean, I remember like Graceland came out and people were like, you can't make African music. But the thing about music is that it exists in the air. There's no like international boundaries. If you're an artist, I don't think that you're supposed to be codifying things as into these like weird cultural boxes. Like
Yeah,
the whole,
you're only allowed to play music that's within your kind of cultural boundary. That's
really
absurd.
it's really absurd,
When you think about
and it's a really anti-artistic way of thinking.
I
you know?
heard this amazing thing on NPR about the history of the banjo, that they had tracked down like the original banjo
Yeah, it's from Africa, right?
from Ghana.
Yeah,
and like you think about it, you know, the banjo idea coming over on the slave
it's like the
ships.
whitest.
Yeah, this white like,
Like-
I mean, you think about white hillbilly music, it's banjo. But then that banjo leads to kind of blues guitar, which leads to rock and roll, which leads to the British invasion, which leads to the Smiths, which leads to Arcade Fire, which takes you guys to Haiti.
And but it's constantly going. It's always constantly going back and forth. I mean, that's kind of what music is for. That's the thing that's valuable about it. There's such a thing as like stealing culture or whatever and trying to pass something off as your own. But I don't think that the songs on I've never heard a compa song that sounds like Here Comes the Nighttime. It doesn't sound like a Haitian song. It's just there's elements of it, you know, in there. So anyway, I think it's really.
I mean, the American Office didn't come from any other inspiration. It just
that beard grew back like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
that's
right.
fast.
Right. I shaved it off when I did their video in Montreal completely. This is just since then.
Naked now.
Look at this.
Maybe it's not hair. It could be mold or something.
Yeah, maybe. My son loves your band, by the way. He's 9 years old. He is a huge Arcade Fire fan.
Great taste.
And he said, make sure you tell Win.
Yeah.
He said, my favorite songs are Reflektor, Afterlife, Joan of Arc, and No Cars Go.
Okay, so mostly new stuff. Child After My Own Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you like the new stuff that you guys are doing?
I do, yeah.
Even though it's kind of weird Euro watered down disco.
Yeah, despite that, I like it. Yeah, it's been really fun to play.
There was this great review of it in Paste that was talking about how every Arcade Fire album is like an event. Each one has really been magnificent and distinct. How do you guys do that?
Each time we've made a record, like the band could have very easily been called The Funerals or The Neon Bibles or The Suburbs. It's almost like we're launching a new band every time. It's kind of how we've always approached it.
What's so cool is that every album to me is like 4 different films almost, like 4 different film scores with certain characters.
I was in film school before I was in a band, and it's definitely kind of feels kind of like we're making a movie sometimes.
So you guys are still believers in the album as opposed to the single?
A single to me is more like a shot of adrenaline. And for me, albums had more of a sense of kind of opening my mind, opening me up to the world a lot more, kind of giving me tools to be a human.
So if you could name 3 albums that give you the tools to be a human, a deeper, richer human, what would they be?
I mean, for sure, like Ben's OK Computer, Kid A. I listened to The Cure a lot. I remember listening to Disintegration so much that it wasn't a sad album to me anymore. Maybe Neil Young, After the Gold Rush. I've listened to that album so many times, it's crazy.
It's a reflection of a reflection of a reflection of a reflection. Life's Big Questions, lightning round. What's the worst lyric you've ever written?
Children, wake up, hold your mistake up. Just kidding, that's a great fucking lyric.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
We had Thanksgiving dinner with Neil Young, and we were working on Reflektor, and it was the end of the night, and we were leaving, and he was like, well, guys, have fun making your album, or it could not be fun at all. That's fine, too.
I feel that way
Doesn't
about
matter if it's fun.
making TV or making movies. It's like sometimes you just have the best time with the cast and everything's in sync. It just feels great.
It really
the
doesn't
movie
matter.
sucks
Yeah,
or
it
the
doesn't
TV show
matter.
sucks.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's just like pulling teeth and
Yeah.
gritting fingernails.
There's
and
conflict that's supposed to be in making
Yeah.
something good. This
Yeah.
is like an inherent conflict. It's not something to be scared of.
And Win Butler, what is your life's big question? What do you wrestle with?
The idea of justice, because there's obviously not justice in the world.
Sure.
If I have an understanding of God, it's kind of rooted in the idea of justice. And so that's the big question. Like, where's the justice at? Yo.
Justice is, making justice is a spiritual act.
Yeah.
Win was talking about what albums helped define him as a human being, the kind of music that was in his DNA. He talks about music being out there in the atmosphere for everyone. So I'd love to hear from you. What albums helped define you, helped make you a kind of deeper, richer, better human being in a way? What albums do you have a relationship with and a story with? Write them down in the comments section and why they are special to you. And we will read through the comments and maybe give some of those albums a gander. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Thanks for being on the show. And
Yeah.
again, I'm really sorry about the whole beginning thing, getting you in the van, you know. I hope it didn't freak you out.
What do you mean? SoulPancake, subscribe!